So let me know when you're ready for the cap.
Good sound. Yep. Ready.
Everybody else ready?
Yup.
Alright. Last time on Deads and Dragons, the party was in hot pursuit of the Ceregian scum, Basset White, and Narcissus. Or Narcissus, or whatever his name was.
Narcissus.
After commandeering the vessel, or a vessel, and joining Olsen in hot pursuit, Algae launches a fireball at the starboard of the enemy ship in order to stop whatever magical mechanism is powering it. The enemy returns fire, and Bretwin spots the spellcaster and flies over and begins the boarding assault by summoning a splay of tentacles which engulfs some of their foes. Algae cackles and throws out a hand towards the boat, and the central mass rustles in a way no sailor has ever heard or seen before, and it tears itself from the deck and shapes itself into a wooden dragon. With a roar, it slams its tail down on the deck where Narcissus stands in the darkness. Olsen holds up his hand and yells "Form of Lion" before dashing to the railing and springing across the other ship, mauling the nearest Ceregian to pieces.
Did I really say that?
Mhm.
Narcissus sprints out of the darkness towards the middle of the boat, screaming for Basset before he sees a giant wooden dragon. Bretwin drops down at this point and tells him that he can either do things the easy way or the hard way. Narcissus is very scared, so throws his things down and gives up. Bretwin vortex warps him to the middle of their boat for Algae to keep an eye on as they clean up the rest of their boat. A mistake Bretwin would soon regret. Algae, of course, agrees. But oh no, Narcissus has a knife. I mean, he's casting a spell. And Algae needs to defend himself. He springs into action and firebolts Narcissus to extinguish the threat and to keep his party safe. Olsen prowls down the deck and slinks in through the doorway before being immediately jumped by a bandit and Basset. Even with his cat-like reflexes, he was not able to avoid all the stabbing. Basset snarls, "You wouldn't be wasting your life on that fool if you knew who he really was." Olsen replies, "My only friend in the world, even if he isn't a true Algatheran," and throws at him.
Is that a direct quote?
It's not a direct quote. I did not say that.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. If it's not a direct, if things are in quotes, they are a direct fucking quote.
Yeah, it was quoted.
It's quoted.
And he throws out a wind wall, shredding one of the bandits, but barely battering Basset. Oh, good alliteration there. Bandits, but barely battering Basset. Very nice. Now back to Algae. Narcissus coughs and cries out that he has surrendered, and this is against all the intercity rules, before dragging himself up and dashing to the underbelly of the ship. Bretwin hears a bit of this conversation and expects to hear Algae's name, but he hears something that doesn't quite sound right. He turns around and sees Algae surrounded by fire, and Narcissus is gone from view. So with a sigh, he twin vortex a warp and teleports himself and Algae into the middle of the ship, and tells him to use his wizard stuff to fix the ship while he grabs buckets and barrels to start putting out the fire. Basset and Olsen warily circle each other, and Basset says he enjoys a good duel and on guard, but Olsen bats him away. Algae at this point messages Narcissus and tells him that if he wants to live, he won't say anything about who he really is or why they were here to kidnap him. Narcissus tentatively agrees, but then instantly betrays Algae's goodwill, yelling to Bretwin to save him, as Algae is apparently trying to murder him.
Narcissus sucks.
Algae tells Bretwin not to listen to the poison coming out of his mouth, but Bretwin is easily susceptible to manipulation and sides with Narcissus. So Algae needs to employ some subterfuge of his own.
What a narc, am I right?
What a narc. Algae makes it look like he's bailing water, and having the dragon attempt to slap the flames out with its wings, but it doesn't work, and it catches the light. With a screech of tearing wood, it rears up and tumbles backwards through the stern of the boat. Unbeknownst to Bretwin, it impales Narcissus through the shoulder, and he tumbles down the stairs and dies. Mission accomplished. Bretwin realizes the burning boat is lost and goes to collect the prisoner, but finds him, unfortunately dead, at the bottom of the stairs. You're welcome. Bretwin starts citing some babble about the rules, but Algie knows that the Node Core Union will protect his rights. Olsen disengages from the fray to gain some space as one of Bassett's henchmen has joined in to tip the odds in Bassett's favor. Also, I think, we've been teleported to the ship. I think I skipped that part. Not missing a chance to destroy more Ceresian evidence, Algie launches another fireball at Bassett, and now both boats are heavily on fire.
Is that where we're up to?
No.
Okay.
With a grunt, Bretwin Missy steps into the room behind Bassett and whispers into his mind that he should surrender, and that this has been an awful day for him. And even if this is the best course of action, and this is his best course of action to surrender. But Bassett is far too prideful to agree with this. So he swings at Breton and says, anyone who would work with that craven gnome deserves to die. But Bretman has forgets the limits of magic, so he can only firebolt him. Algie is told by Olsen to get bailing before coming to the room to help before he comes in the room to help Bretwin, and poison sprays Bassett in the face, and he staggers back. Bassett gasps back and says that they have already failed, and that all the information that Ceres has on Agathera has already made it to them and will help them in no measure, and even if he dies, he's but a pawn. Bretwin says that they will never fall to the likes of Ceres, and even if they have that information, Algathera has a Ceravane and the joy of its citizens to protect. And even if the fools somehow unearth Sirius, he will merely flatten the city. And with a powerful casting of dissonant whispers ripping through his mind, Bassett turns towards the desk in the corner and reaches out to the bundles of documents there, before blood runs through his nose and he collapses. Algie, unaware of these final documents, thinks that his secret is finally safe. But we shall see. That's where we are.
Oh shit, we didn't even open the documents?
No.
Nope.
But Algie doesn't know.
I bet they've got something about the crooked governor in them.
So you just have it out for her so much.
If she didn't have it out for Algathera so much, maybe.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Oh, I want to look at the documents.
I'm putting out the fire.
It's been a cliffhanger for months.
I think the job's done. Bassett's dead. Other guy's dead. Nothing to worry about.
I feel like you got away with it, don't you?
Yep.
You fucker.
Okay, so you're putting out the fire. You want to look at some docs, Bretwin?
He's just gonna clomp down onto the table. Tony's boots off. He's just like, Olsen, is it always like this? I mean, you know, the killing of Ceresians and all that aside, but something didn't feel right about this.
Mm-hmm.
Olsen?
Sorry, what? Can you say it again? I was reading a chat message.
It's like, you know, is it always like this? Something doesn't feel right about, you know, murdering Ceresians that have got it coming. Clearly one thing, but this was different. There was something off about this.
Yes, he did spend a lot of time claiming that we wouldn't work with one of our friends. Is there something you're not telling me, Bretwin?
Olsen. There is
most mysterious friend.
Olsen. There is a lot I'm not telling you, but you know, if this cadre continues working out, I'm sure you'll find out eventually.
It's very suspicious.
How's Olsen's trust levels going?
I don't know.
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's known Bretwin for like. Yeah, he's known Brethren for like a week, like 2 maybe.
You're always
Not very
summoning
long.
spooky tentacles.
You do some creepy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
save this live.
I'm pretty sure Bretwin's actually the big bad.
That would have been an amazing twist. I'm gonna
Oh my
write
God.
it down
Oh
for
my-
future campaigns.
In that case, I want to get to the table before Bretwin does to read these documents.
Okay, that's fantastic. So you sort of like
I just
stare off at
gently-
each other after a very awkward conversation, and you just dash to the table.
Yeah. Brethren just sort of like wanders over afterwards to look over his shoulder. I mean, is any of this room on fire? It doesn't look like it.
This
I
room's
think we-
alright.
I think we put it out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
Boat's
around,
still on fire. The
the
boat's fine, right?
This
The
boat
boat-
is okay now.
boat's okay.
Sorry. Speaking for you, Luca, but I just remember. I'm just trying to help with the
Please.
context from before.
Yeah. Please, you did all the remembering. What's the state of things?
I think there's like a little bit of fire here, but it's like it's mostly under control now.
It's no big deal.
That's right. So
And the other
there
boat's
was a
completely fucked, right?
The other boat is fucked.
the other boat is burning to the ground. Yes, or to the ocean floor. There was a crew member putting out the fire at the back of this boat that you didn't find, but then you killed him.
God. Was it Bretwin?
Yeah.
Probably.
I fired.
I think it was Algie. But this boat's fine. And although there's some like cosmetic damage and some light structural damage, the boat itself, like looking around, this is a pretty impressive vessel. Like this is kind of like a wanted to make sure I use the correct boat term here because you'll make fun of me for it otherwise. This is a frigate.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's and it's pretty well equipped. There's no like, you know, that you found anyway. There's no like stashes of mercantile wealth, but there's a lot of supplies, and there's like it looks like it's been out to sea for quite a while.
Ooh.
Everything's like well used and well equipped, and it's got some really interesting technology that I don't know if any of you would be familiar with floating around, which may warrant some investigation. You've seen sails. You are familiar
Yeah.
with sails.
It is missing its mast. That is one key
It
thing.
no longer has a
Mastless
mast.
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came with a mast.
Can we refund it?
It's better than the boat that we borrowed from those fishermen then.
Yes.
Problem
This thing's
solved.
like the boat you borrowed from the fisherman is like a large fishing vessel. This thing is a warship,
Hmm.
and it
Well,
looks
it's
like
not-
it's kind of kitted out for like reconnaissance.
Ooh.
It's like a spy warship.
Ooh.
Stealth.
Well, if nothing else, Olsen, we've certainly got ourselves a new toy to add to the Algatheran Navy.
Well,
I don't know about you, I've never been much of a sailor, but this is very nice once it's not on fire.
Oh, yes, I've seen 2 or 3 ships in my time, and this is by far the nicest one.
How do I get past
Like-
you?
I want to roll investigation.
How'd you scream?
Okay. What are you doing?
I want to look at like the features. I don't know. I want to look at the documents. Am I at the documents yet?
You're at the documents.
I feel
Okay,
like I'm
so
here, and then I'll look at the boat later.
you're desperate to look at the documents. I understand. You've been waiting for this for
To
months.
investigate them.
So you come to this table. In fact, I want to get rid of the alchemy shit. Get out of here, alchemy. Oh shit! The table is made of. The table
It's
is
made of
alchemy
it.
shit. I can't actually.
oh, it all is.
It is. Yes. There's no getting rid of that alchemy shit. But this is like it's like a writing desk, and there's like pages and pages. The first binder you open is a set of, again, I want to get this correct so I don't get made fun of.
We would never.
I totally would. I'm ready. With the smallest slip up. Criticism.
I'm letting Google do the pronunciation thing. There's a single. Oh, there is a dossier.
Mm,
It's good I looked it up because I was going to say dossier.
close enough.
That's fine.
On the table, and leafing through it, you just see like name after name that you recognize of Algatherans in positions of power. There's a section on Vivers. There's a section on you. There's a section on Bretwin, but it's very sparse. Not much is known about Bretwin. There's a section on Sarabay with a big like stamp at the bottom saying deceased.
What kind of
But-
like, do they write next to them? They're like, or is it in like code or something?
No, it's just in common, whatever language. I don't think we ever discussed what language people write in, but we'll call it common because I love common. Surprisingly, there's no section on algae.
No section actually at all. What does the section on Bretwin say though?
The Bretwin section talks about his. There's some very like old rumors around involved like
Anything
this.
incriminating? I'm looking for crimes here.
Oh, crimes against whom?
Humanity. And other humanoid type.
What's-
There's some like Bretwin is linked with some very violent crimes. Very violent events. I shouldn't say crimes, because in the eyes, it appears that Bretwin for a long time has been linked with the Algatheran like secret service, basically, and all of these violent crimes. Some of them might be just Bretwin deciding to do some murdering, but it looks like they're mostly related to his like Algatheran special business.
Who was that? What was your original cadre? The one who betrayed your group? Are they in Phaeton or was it Ceres? I can't remember.
Phaeton.
Phaeton. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there is some history, like there's some question marks around Bretwin's past, like Algathera question, Phaeton question, double agent question. So there's some real like his allegiances are not clear.
Mm.
And Bretwin's looking over my shoulder this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Bretwin's reading
And
it
it's
too.
like,
I'm gonna turn the page just to keep going. Maybe they
It's
won't
like-
see it.
no, Bretwin's just going to be like, ooh, they learned about that one back in '63. Oh, I thought we did a good job of being quiet about that. Well,
Perfect.
there
yes.
were a
Bretwin's
lot of
history.
there were a lot of bodies, so. So claps Olsen on the shoulder. It's like, you know how it is sometimes. Things get messy. Got to do what you got to do for the good of Algathera.
Just like right now.
Alright, what's the governor called? I want to look at her section. Bees
Botany?
or whatever.
Botany.
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 Botany Umbersilk, I think it was.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. So
Does it say anything about
They've got-
killing the mayor?
there,
That's what I'm
There's-
looking for.
okay, there's a long history on Botany. Like that seems like the Ceres intelligence service has had the CIS have had their eye on Botany for a very long time, since her like university days, as a rising political force in Algathera. She's dubbed a radical in the eyes of the Ceres intelligence. The Ceres intelligence believe that she is serving the interests of Algathera, but could potentially be used to destabilize the political environment in the Algatheran society, and talk about wedging a cultural divide in the election that was recently held around the conservatives who believe in Algatherans being born and bred, and the progressives who believe in Algatherans being a
Well,
trait
black and white view
adoptable.
of it. I don't know if you're really taking all sides into account there.
This is just what the Serious Intelligence Service has to say about it.
So she's not working with Sirius, but it could be Phaeton, it could be anyone.
They do have a list of like they do believe that she's definitely Alga Theron, and she's not sort of an agent for anyone else. But they do have a list of some to you quite surprising activities that she's been involved in. There's no murdering of any mayor, but there is some dirt here.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
that she's been involved in on her political rise.
Alright, I point this out to Brevin. I'm like, Brevin. It's just
Well, I mean, you
generic, mysterious dirt. Is that?
She puts on. We can flesh it out later, but she puts on like a good girl facade. But there's been some real drudgery happening. Yeah. She's not above like getting not her hands dirty, but she's not about getting the hands of others dirty for her interests.
Oh my.
I mean, again, Olsen, did you really think that anyone who could raise to the level of looking after a city-state as great as Algathera would do it without some political machinations? Like, that is a wonderful worldview to have, but when you've been doing this as long as I am, you don't have that luxury anymore. You have to look at the world as it is, not as you wish it was, unfortunately. This is why we do what we do, to keep that view in the eyes of the citizens. Let them believe that while we...
For everyone, including the politicians. I believe it's still possible. I believe with us at the fending off the darkness, Algathera could live and bask in light.
Ah, man after my own heart, this is what I like to hear.
Alright,
Yeah,
I'll look at the dirtiest. What's the biggest column that I can see? The grossest, most rank.
Like the worst sort of act that she's been involved in.
No, not for her. For the whole book. I flipped through. I'm looking for the 5 stars here. You know.
Oh, like the person who's got like the longest like history. You come across Courtney. Do you remember
Not
Courtney?
surprising. Yeah.
Which one was Courtney?
Courtney was the druid who essentially tried to recruit Olsen.
Yep.
And so Courtney Courtney's old. She's been around a long time, and her information starts with her entrance to the Node Core, but it's pretty like mundane until she leaves, and then it just blows out. And essentially, what this tells you is that she's operating like a fairly low-key, but absolutely a terrorist organization within the city of Algathera, attempting to destabilize the city-state structure entirely. And she's been actively recruiting and trying to start up similar initiatives in other city-states. And so Sirius are very, very interested in Courtney. They've actually tried to assassinate her, but failed.
What if
They're not very good at
yourself
assassination.
into Courtney?
Maybe Olsen's a double agent here.
You're not even in the room.
I know.
Another interesting thing that you tab across is we're still in the dossier. You were sort of searching for algae, and there was no one titled algae, but on your page, you see mention of a like you're reading through it and you're like formed node core, and it says Sarave, and then it says Raven Pebbletooth.
Teeth.
Sorry, Pebble Teeth.
Is it in my node core or in a different one?
In your node core, like when in like this is on your section, and it says joined. Olsen graduated top of his class. Formed node core with Parangon, Sarave, Gnome, Craven.
Oh my. I want to
Search
find
in
Craven now.
intelligence.
Show me the Craven page.
You're like rapidly tabbing through this Algatheran dossier,
Craven pebble teeth.
and there's nothing on Craven. There are other books on the table though.
Perhaps a
Oh,
memory
that's
charm or something?
So
Well, that's
Is there
certainly
another member
interesting.
of the cadre?
Search in intelligence. You know, they can't even get people's names right.
You haven't you in your adventures you haven't come across any false hydras, have you? Awful things.
That's a throwback. That was actually one of my favorite D&D sessions.
Oh, it was so
It
good.
was so interesting.
Fuck.
God, that was a long time ago.
I'm so sad we didn't record it, but like it's so
Yeah.
fitting that we didn't.
That's very true.
I like my recap when I went silent. Everyone's like, "You're muted." I was like, "Ha ha ha."
Got it. That's brilliant too.
Ba, ba, ba. It's like yeah, I guess Bretman will probably pick up one of the other books and it's just like, well, actually no, he'd be like, oh, I thought Algie was with you from the start, Olsen.
He was. It was me, or at least since I joined up with the cadre with Sarave. It was me, Sarave, and Algie. That's what I remember.
You tabbing through the book, you actually see quite a number of references to Craven.
Are gnomes a common occurrence in Algathera?
They're pretty rare. Gnomes are very rare in general, but Algathera is slightly more common. They're pretty common in Sirius, actually. But yeah, tabbing through the book, you see a lot of references to Craven around Sarabay, around you, around Vivers. This name just keeps appearing and appearing and appearing.
Is there no Craven section? Just he's mentioned all over the place.
It's just accounts of what happened and who was involved, and it just says Craven.
These
Olsen,
are accounts that
Sarabay,
I
Craven.
recognize from like things that we did.
And most interestingly, you get to the end of your section. Oh, do you? What happened in the sewers again, Cam?
What do you mean?
You solo escaped, right?
You found those
And I,
construction
like,
workers
Rocked,
climbed out the
warped it over.
Oh yeah, okay. One of the other books on this is the diary of fuck, what's his name again?
Bassett? Narcosauce?
Yeah.
Bassett White.
That's it. Yeah.
Alright, I'm starting to piece together that this is sounding like algae. Everything's pointing towards algae. I'm just kind of confused. Like, I suppose maybe he's got another name or something.
I mean, maybe that's just something that gnomes do. I mean, you said he wasn't from Algathera originally. Maybe
He was from elsewhere. I'm not sure.
too
if he ever said-
embarrassed of his original name, I guess. I mean, Craven as
Bad
it's
name.
not a
I agree.
it's not a great name.
You too.
Craven has a very like Ceresian clang to it.
Ooh.
You would definitely not find anyone named Craven named that way in Algathera.
Are people allowed to like go to another city state, or is even that?
Migration is allowed. Yeah.
Well, I suppose
It
it'd
is
be
cool.
reasonable for him to change his name when he came here. If he didn't want to be
I mean-
recognized as a Ceresian. You saw how they were mistreated, those Ceresians, when they opened that cafe. I couldn't believe it, but
That's what happens when they just
Mistreated
get
by
mistreated.
you.
What's happening with the- Yeah, I know.
When you all saw it.
Well, I mean, clearly we'll just need to ask him when he finishes putting out all those fires.
let's read a little bit more. Perhaps we can find
Hmm.
a little bit more about him. We've already read Bratwell's section, we've read my section. Let's go to the diary.
Okay, so you tab to the back of the diary, and there's the last entry. Hastily penned. It says, it gives a date at the top of the page. I'm not going to give you a random date. And it's beneath it says in hurried text, where our assassination attempt on Craven has failed. We believe we have been detected. Our position here is compromised. Narcissus and I are no longer fit to serve as agents in Algathera. We will return to Ceres with all haste aboard the Thunder Runner. It's not bad, actually. Thunder Runner's
It's
kind of got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
You can rename whatever you want, of course, but it's the Resian name. The gnome, and then it gets rather personal. The gnome is unbearably lucky. We had the perfect setup. I cannot believe that he has avoided us again. My only hope is that he is discovered as the fraud. For the fraud he is by his compatriots. He cannot keep up this ruse forever. He cannot run from the Ceresian justice forever. He has risen, he has flown too close to the sun, and his wax wings shall melt. And I hope that he hits a rock in the ocean.
Love that.
Nothing
Bottle
about how
cap.
it's all Marcus's fault. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I have more to write, but I believe I see a vessel on the horizon, and I must make preparations.
Mm.
Alright, I'm shocked.
Well, that's certainly interesting.
Worse than just a Ceresian. He's a Ceresian fugitive.
Well, it would definitely make sense why he changed his name then and came to Algathera.
Come. We must ask him. I will speak to him face to face.
Just before you go, there's one other document or set of documents that captures your eye, and it's a folder full of reports. Looks very boring, but just before you're leaving, you see like an inventory, and it's a bunch of Ceresian outposts and their current state. And a lot of them are either destroyed or like badly damaged and needing like mass supplies. You pick that set of reports up for later.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon Brett wanted to just be like, well, I mean, Vivas was saying that many of our outposts had been ravaged by these elementals and the construct's people. I mean, it'd make sense that a lesser city-state like Ceres would also be being beaten down by this, but this is bad. Like, say what we will about, destabilizing Ceres and all, but it'd be a very large deal. It'd be a very big deal if Ceres were actually to fall. The power imbalance would be concerning.
Someone would have to feel.
We'll need to look at this later. Take it back to Vivas.
All right, I'm gonna pick up. I'll take the diary.
Can you plug that in, please?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's away.
Let us. Oh my God, he's right here. I say, Algae. Oh wait, is it Algae?
What?
I throw the diary on the ground.
What do you mean?
Or is it Craven?
Just been putting out the fires. Craven penalties. I've never heard that name in my life.
Neither an I, but I've heard it now.
Technically, we read it, overheard it, but semantics.
All right, Brentwood. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You still
What are we
trying to
talking-
play dummy now? Craven Pebbleteeth, fugitive of Ceres. Does that ring any bells?
Yeah. I may have heard of the name.
You gotta keep pressing him. You know how Algie is.
I can't believe this.
Algie.
After I brought you into Algathera, showed you Algatheran brown ale for your first time, invited you to eat an Algatheran pie, and this whole time, you've been lying to me. Not just about your name, but about who you are. A Seresian.
What? I am an Algatheran. Doesn't matter, whatever.
Even at the best
You
of
may-
times, Algie.
You may,
That was a flimsy lie.
whatever you may believe. I'm a citizen of Algathera.
Come then, read this. And I throw the diary at him, pick it up, and throw it at his feet.
I'll pick it up, have a little read.
What's he talking about?
Alright.
Why does he keep
think
calling
they're-
you Craven?
Seresian intelligence, they're awful at their job, you know? They could have gotten my name wrong.
They think that you're this other guy, a Seresian that they've been chasing and trying to assassinate. And you've not mentioned this.
I just thought, as a fabled member of the Node Corps, they were trying to assassinate me.
Algie, I'm trying to give you as much opportunity as I can to explain, to help me understand. Do you have anything to say?
Alright, since you're my best friend in Algathera. It's true. I was once a Seresian.
I spit at the ground. I shared a brown ale with you.
Oh, the shock.
Brethren is so shocked she falls over.
I love the surprise about it. But it's not what you think. I left Ceres long ago. They
Unless
tried
Ceres a
to
criminal.
a Seresian criminal. They had manipulated me, taken me for all I'm worth. So I had to run away. I betrayed them. Brought intelligence to Algathera, tried to live a new life.
You could have
New
told me,
honest
Algie.
life with the Node Corps. How
would've
could I
understood.
I don't believe that.
Things I will not believe.
Yeah.
Olsen, you're an upstanding member of Algathera, but
Thank you.
even I've seen how you feel about the other city-states.
I hate Seresian as the next Algatheran. As much as the next Algatheran. They're a scumbag state. Nothing good ever comes of them.
So tell me, Algie, why were you being chased? Why would they risk coming into Algathera, snatching you off the streets, trying to kill you? Who are you really?
Well, as the diary says, my name is my Seresian name is Craven Pebbleteeth. I was once just a lowly citizen, got caught up with the wrong gang, some gambling debts, you know. They had me doing jobs here and there, but then on one expedition I found my opportunity to escape to the best city in the world, Algathera. And I ran away, changed my name, forged documents with what was the name of the broker person?
Sydney Sheck.
Yeah, Sydney
that's
Sheck.
right.
Sydney
With
Sheck's
Sydney.
involved in this as well.
Started a new life.
Goes right to the top.
You go. Olsen quickly flicks through the dossier into Sydney Sheck.
Was it botany? Was botany at the core of this?
You really don't like her, do you?
I always wondered why you were standing up for her.
As far as I'm aware, Bonnie doesn't know, but maybe Sydney. Maybe Sydney Sheck could have told her. I'm not sure. But know this, Olsen. I fight for Algathera. Put my life on the line. You've seen it.
That was Algie.
I am LG.
I don't know any Craven Pebble Teeth.
Well, I suppose that is handy then. Craven Pebbleteeth died out at sea. I mean, along with this other pile of dirty Ceresians. I would say we should sink the boat and give all of them a watery grave, but
Brett,
it is a very nice boat.
we can't do that. Even if Craven is guilty, we have to take him for a fair trial.
What fair trial? What is?
Yeah, why do we need to try him? He doesn't know any of us money, or he doesn't know the city of Algathera money.
Yeah.
He forged
Algathera-
Algatheran documents. Sydney Sheg is involved. This is a crime against the state.
I'm an Algatheran corpsman. I'm one of the Dragon Knights.
That was Algae.
Yes, be that as it may. At times, I feel like we're past the time where simple white-collar clerical crimes can come before falling outposts, raging elemental constructs, and he literally pulls the dragon egg out of his backpack and runs the entropy up his arm. It's like, unfortunately, I do think there's bigger things going on in the world than some white-collar crime at the moment.
He's right, Olsen. We gotta stay together. We gotta fight for Algathera to get rid of these elementals and the construct. Can you do it without me?
I'm not saying we don't keep an eye on him, but I feel like this is something we can deal with later.
Oh, I just don't know.
Well, if nothing else, I guess we're never buying drinks again, or at least not for the anytime near future. Isn't that right, Algie?
We can still. I'm not against it. There's a nice Ceresian cafe we could go to.
Sit on the ground again.
No.
All right.
Algathera proud ales and me.
And that nice stash of wine we found. I mean,
Yeah.
we should sell most of it, but keep a little bit for our own personal stash.
Maybe give one to that fisherman.
Yes, I think Algie, you especially need to pay that man for burning his boat down.
We got a new boat.
We're not giving him a war vessel. Either way, there's more to this, and I feel you owe us many more explanations. But for now, because we weren't on a timeline, but Vivers was like, and Courtney were both like, "You'll got shit to do in the next few days."
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, we're supposed to get going to the north or wherever it was.
Okay. For now, we'll let sleeping dogs lie. But I still don't understand. Algie, Craven, why wouldn't you tell me? We've been brothers in battle. Months now. Algathera and ale shared.
It's been my greatest fear. My whole life being in the Node Core. I couldn't tell how you were gonna react, Olsen. All the hate for Ceres, I wasn't sure how you would react to me, knowing my true past. But now you know, I hope we can forge through, share some more Brian Elves eventually, save
It's a bit too
Algathera.
soon for that, I think.
Yeah, one day. I'll hand him back the book.
All right. While this conversation is happening, the ship that you sailed it on completes its sinking. It's gone.
It's gone.
The last burbles of steam from the fires that raged extinguished as the deck falls under the ocean. And all you see are I don't even know if there are any masts left. I think they're probably all burned down too. A sole mast on the rear of the vessel, just gradually sinking down until nothing remains. And the ocean is quiet.
Apart from all these damn seagulls.
How do I turn those fuckers off? Oh, why am I lagging out so bad? Oh no. Oh, there we go. What would you like to do?
So, should we go back into the shore?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think we should do.
You return to Algathera. I'll just move you back onto the map. Why not? So, do the two of you in Algie, and Olsen dig deep into your memories of what you were taught by what was his name? The sailor in that
Oh yeah.
like tropical place.
Oh
It's called like Daryl or something.
Declan.
Daryl? Declan. Declan the deckhand, that's right.
Yep.
Decky. From the great southern land.
Decky.
Fuck.
I miss Declan.
I missed Declan. He's good.
And the two of you, look, it's tense. There's a lot of teamwork involved in sailing a boat, so it's not the most civil or smooth.
Oh, we're
Trip back
such a
to
good
shore.
team.
But
Wilson and I.
let's see. Roll
Me
for
and
both
Alfie
of
were a
you.
great team.
Both of you, I want to roll for. I don't know. It's like interpretation of an event. You know what I mean? Like I want to know.
Animal
Maybe just
handling.
roll me a D100 for positivity. A D100 for positivity.
2 of 10 and a double 0. Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
God, where do I roll this here? Ooh.
Algie's
Oh.
very positive about it.
Did my
Also
one?
rolled.
Never
Olsen rolled
mind.
85, so they're both like on the same
Wow.
wavelength, both in the
Okay.
80s.
Okay, so
Can't
you
deny it,
know
Olsen.
Can't deny
The-
teamwork.
the sort of natural communication patterns that you built up after serving in the same corps for months and months now resurface, and while also you're still skeptical about Algie's past, some thoughts start creeping in that maybe Algie was just trying to escape to a better life, and maybe the promise of Algathera's freedom and goodwill for all is that not encapsulated in the transformation of Craven Pebbletooth into Algie? What's your last name, Algie?
Sprocket.
Algie
Sprocket,
Sprocket. And Algie, you consider Olsen's point of view as well, actually, and you think that this deeply prideful nationalist who has only the best interest of his motherland at heart has just been one of his greatest fears has just been revealed in that his one of his closest companions was
The last one left
not
as well.
Yeah.
Courtney's off the
not a
rails.
true yeah.
Bretwin said that he's got some secret under dealings. Barely know the guy, and he's sworn tentacles all over the place.
This is a real like
Can't trust the
villain
government.
origin story for
Yeah.
Olsen. Olsen's the big bad for the next
Now,
campaign,
Algie.
100%.
Yeah.
Lied
I
to
can
me
trust no one.
my whole life.
It's very Mistborn Lord Ruler-esque.
Yeah.
Anyway, you consider his perspective about how his whole worldview has been shattered and he doesn't know what's real anymore, and that it will take some time for him to feel comfortable with the situation, but at least he's still calling you Algie.
Mm. Nice.
Okay. You end up back in town. The docking process, not great. Not great. The damaged boat is now slightly more damaged. The dock, also slightly more damaged, but it's there. There's a crowd gathers because they're like, there's actually some of the dock workers actually talk. Like you ever hear some rumors, like or sort of gossip going around, being like, "Oh my God, we've seen this boat, but we didn't know, which." It definitely wasn't Algatheran, and everyone's kind of shocked to see it in shore. You actually were challenged by some naval vessels on the way in, but uh, you'd taken down the Ceresian colors. This the Actually, I guess it's a spy boat. It wouldn't
Yeah, it's not a
use
very good
Ceresian
spy
colors.
boat.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like, oh, we're Cerusian flag.
Yeah, definitely like all of the Algatheran colors.
Yeah. You haven't taken down Ceresian colors. You've mounted Algatharian colors all over the place. And a crowd has sort of gathered, and people are in kind of in awe of what you brought in. This boat is packing, right? Like it's got a cannon on the front that's like crackling with like lightning power. There's some freaky shit at the back, also crackling with lightning power. There's a lot of like tech on this boat that like just has not been seen before in Algathera. Like say what you will about the Ceresians, but like they do know how to do some things right. And apparently naval technology is one of those things. It's quite interesting actually. You know some of the who was the head engineer who gave you this
Plum something?
Da, 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 da.
Thought it was Plum.
Georgian Berry Boot.
Berry Boot. Yes,
That's
you
close.
expect Chief Engineer Berry Boot would be most interested in this technology. What would you like to do?
I want to get the documents and go back to what's that guy called? You know what I'm talking about. The general.
Vivers?
Vivers.
Oh my god, I wasn't. I thought you meant Vivers, but I was like, who would forget Vivers?
Yeah, right.
You would.
I can't
Okay,
remember all the names.
this is a big task. Okay, you rush to the officer quarters. What do you do? You arrive at. What do the other two of you do?
I think we'll go with like Bretwin knows that we have shit. Like we have our next mission. We know what we need to do. But I think Bretwin, the folder that he's picked up with all of like the Ceresian outposts and the damage that they've taken, I think he's like, okay, yeah, this is like a big deal because that can fill in the map more of where damage is, whether from the construct and the golems or from something else. But it'll still, he's like a secret agent. He knows that information is power.
Yeah.
And so adding that to their maps will make a big deal.
Berwin, did you want to have a look at those? Like, if we sort of do a bit of time reversey, did you want to have a look at those reports on the way back? Like,
I reckon he would have.
Yeah. Okay. So, what you learn is that Ceres is actually in pretty deep shit.
Oh.
They're actually very vulnerable. Algathera has been hit by these constructs. Yeah, like the raise of the constructs, but Ceres has been sort of ravaged by them. They've lost some really core outposts. Like you see, you're quite familiar with like the geopolitical situation. You know a lot of the key Ceres like outposts that are around, and some of the names on here shock you. You're like, you never would have thought that something like that was vulnerable to anything. You sort of sit down and start doing like the logistics analysis, and you're like, Ceres has probably got like a year left tops, if nothing else changes before it runs out of enough mana being fed into it to maintain its defenses.
Oof.
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, sure. Yeet. 17.
Ooh, okay, great. This intelligence makes you wonder if you're being told the full story of the impact upon Algathera.
Oh.
Botany.
Interesting.
Sweeping stuff under the rug again.
Don't try and butter me up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bretwin finds that
Just when you thought you were out, Ed, you're back in.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say Bretwin will find that very interesting. And I reckon he'll give the Cliff's Notes to Olsen and Algie when they're not sprinting around. Maybe not the part that he's like, they've been unsettled enough, so probably not the part of like, what is Algathera not saying?
Okay.
But he's like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's bad, and the other part of you realizes it's actually quite good, because this is a potential, like, you know that there's been a deadlock between the city-states for decades. Any attempt at actually disturbing the balance of power is rebuffed, because as soon as like two parties engage, the third party who has not been, suffered any attrition comes along and takes advantage of it, so everyone has to retreat. But Sirius is now, like, based on what you've read here, Sirius is absolutely weak enough to mount a pretty effective, take the constructs out, like the question mark, the variable of the constructs out of the picture. Sirius is definitely vulnerable enough for a major reduction in power, if not complete eradication. It could be quite momentous. Probably the biggest military victory that Algathera has ever known.
Oh wow. Yeah, big shit. Definitely something to take to Vivers.
Can't count our eggs before they hatch.
Exactly.
For the next 6 weeks, we'll just like crush series instead of doing the construct. We're like, we did it. We finished the campaign.
Algae is free.
Yeah.
You crush the city-state and you crush your past.
Yep. Can't be Ceres if there's no Ceres.
That's absolutely right.
I'll always know.
Man, that's some Malazan shit, Cam. Like,
Oh, fucking Malazan.
it's like you have a past of a dead empire. Like, oh my god, that's cool.
God, I really need to read those at some point. They sound like great.
It's too much, I reckon. It's too much of Malazan.
You have to go in with a really open mind and a lot of patience.
I've also heard that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think they're worth it. I didn't finish the series. I only got 6 or 7 books in out of the 10. But I rated the books I read.
I think I only got 2 or 3 in, but you cannot take a break.
Yeah.
You need to
You need your flow chart and your documents and your spreadsheets of who is who and fucking all the things.
I took too long a break and I was like, nah, fuck this. I don't know who anyone is anymore.
Yeah. I got sick of reading the same books like non-stop, and I read a different book and I tried to go back to it and I couldn't. But some of the characters in there are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know like the backstory of the whole Malazan series? So it's written by Steven Erickson, and it's based on his D&D campaign that he played for like 30 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played like a homebrew campaign with a bunch of this like guys, and just recorded like you have done, Dylan, like just notes after notes after notes, and then just sort of took some liberties and then bunched it all into a essentially the interesting stories. So if you read it like it's someone's like sort of like recounting their like epic D&D campaign, it makes a lot more sense. If you read it as like a traditional narrative, you're like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? Like, why is this guy like in this story at all?
Why do the main characters keep adopting random other people?
Exactly. Like, who are all these people? Like,
that actually makes
characters.
Lots of sense.
Yes. Like, you think about the first book, like Gardens of the Moon, and the
Spirit.
I can't remember, like the soldiers. Like,
yeah.
Who are these people? But they're the D&D characters, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes
I
sense that they all get written in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So you arrive at the officers' quarters. What do you do? Over here.
I can't not zoom down enough. Over there. Okay, yep.
Who are we, like, does Vivers should we just bust into the room?
What do you do?
I would like
I've just
to
said you
see
got there.
Vivers. I want to tell
Okay.
Vivers' secretary. I need to see Vivers right now. I've got some dire news.
Ooh la la. This must be dramatique.
Oh my
What did you do?
Oh, I
Why did
love
you do
it.
it to yourself?
god.
Of course, the French general would hire a French secretary.
Of course.
Um,
I'm at the house.
Where drop a boop.
Just click on me if you can.
Oh yeah, good point. I forgot we can do that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're over there. Yeah.
Vives is in his quiet time now, but you are the Dragon Knight, so an exception shall be made. Please, one moment. And she disappears and then very quickly comes back and says, follow me. And takes you, I think Vives was in this room.
Yeah.
The door's actually open, and Vives is at his writing desk. Well, he's standing next to his writing desk.
Oh, he's a little rabbit.
He says,
Yeah, I forgot he was a rabbit.
Dragon Knights, what is the problem? I thought you were sailing to, where were you going? To Moonglow Hollow to confer with the druids. Why are you back here? Is something I missed?
Before we could even leave Vivers, we stumbled upon something dire. A spy den underneath this very city.
Oh,
We recovered some
Ugh.
documents as well. Serrations.
uh-huh.
Just keep a mute emotion in between.
Yes, thankfully, we were able to deal with them, but the question of how long they were there and what information they got out is something someone else will have to look into while we have gone. We did bring back a shiny new stealth warship, though, but before we leave, though, this... And he hands over the dossier. We found this report on attacks and the state of the Ceresian outposts, and this is deeply shocking about the state that Ceres is in currently, but also about the power of the construct in these elemental attacks. This is something we had to get to add. I mean, we do not know the full picture of the state of Algathera's outposts, which is why we're going out to find out, but I think you need this information to get a full picture while we aren't here. This is deeply concerning that some of these places have fallen.
Yes. Well, they do say in warfare there is information your enemy must not know, information your enemy unfortunately knows, information your enemy has been granted to know. We have spies, they have spies, Phaeton has spies, everybody has spies. But the securing of these records of the state of Ceres is very valuable indeed as he leaves through them. I had no idea they were under such duress. This presents a most interesting opportunity. Alas, we are rather under-resourced for such an offensive right now, but perhaps if the three of you can deal with the construct impacting our outposts, we can stabilize long enough to mount an assault, and this could be the greatest military event that has happened to Algathera in its entire history. And I, Vives Velu, shall lead the charge. I shall go down as the greatest general this state has ever known. Nay, this continent has ever known.
I love
Oh, you three, I want to kiss you all. And he sort of hops up and cheek, well, each of you. You beautiful, beautiful causemen. Why, I can see it now. Vives and the three Dragon Knights leading the charge into the heart of Ceres, pushing aside the pathetic Ceresians into their own sheath, marching upon their palace, and then I shall take the throne of the first vassal of Algathera. Oh, I must
That's
make
good.
plans. I have so many details to sort out. Please, you must leave these documents with me, yes?
Yes,
Of course.
But before we
Speech.
go, I need to speak with you privately, Vivers.
Oh. Oh, oui, oui. As long as, by the grace of your compatriots? Compagnon? Doesn't matter.
Glance at Olsen, put his flag, alright.
It's like, Brett went elbows him and is like, don't cause too much trouble. We have things to do.
I'll just silently leave. I can't fit through the door. There we go.
Oop, that
Yes,
doesn't-
Olsen, my most delightful of what's in the military like a report in the military? Soldiers, my most delightful soldier.
Like lieutenants or something.
Lieutenant, that is wonderful, it's even a French word.
Alright.
Oh, you want to close the door?
Yeah. There's something else I need to tell you, Vivers. Something I learnt about someone very close to me, a dear friend. Amongst the documents, there's a whole section on Courtney and what they've been doing out there.
It's not even about. Oh, gee.
That's such a good twist. You can have inspiration for that. That was very funny.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Oh, you got me.
Courtney, what was her last name? Bassard?
Facade, yeah.
Courtney Bassard? My old cadre member?
Yes. According to
Yes.
the Ceresian intelligence, she's been leading a terrorist organization.
What? A terrorist.
Inside Algathera, even.
And it. Sorry, I must clarify. A terrorist organization terrorizing Algathera or Ceres?
Terrorizing both, I believe.
Oh my lord! What's the god called of wisdom?
Oh my god. Wisdom. We had Orderkin or whatever. There's
Yeah, Orca.
Orca.
Yeah. I was like, order something.
By Orca scale himself. That is, and it is. They have evidence.
I don't know. All I've read is the notes, but it's certainly a damning accusation, and I don't know why they would lie. Everything else in there seems to be accurate.
I have not spoken to Courtney in many years. I feared something may have gone wrong. She left. Did I ever tell you the story of how she left the cadre?
No.
No? Well, I will save that for another time over a brown ale. But it was most unexpected. One day she was serving Algathera to her most capable abilities, and then the next, the passion went out of her, and then scant weeks later, she had left the cadre entirely at the height of our powers. We were never the same without her. There was a certain, how you say, synergy between us that could not be replicated. Yes, it was sad. It was.
Well, if the accusations are true, then she's an enemy of Algathera. What will you do now that you know something about a friend so close to you?
Well,
Oh, I love that.
first we shall monitor her actions, but we must find her. No one has heard for anything from Courtney in months. She fled the city one day. It was reported by the guardsmen. We do not know where she has gone. But it is dangerous out there, even for one as skilled in the druid class as Courtney. She
What should we
can't
do?
have gone too far.
What should we do if we find her?
Well, I am a man of moderation, and I will withhold my judgment until evidence is found. But an accusation so extreme must be treated with immense gravity. We shall begin investigations into her apartment in Algathera. It has lain abandoned for months, but no one has thought to inspect the personal belongings of such a honored and venerated retired corpsman. But this, unfortunately, also, when events such as these happen, the safety of Algathera must come above the bonds of friendship. But remember, those bonds were forged for a reason. Whatever Courtney is doing, I believe, truly, I believe that her mind has some justification. She's probably, I hope, I pray on Ordekar's gavel that her heart has not truly been corrupted and that she has just misguided. And maybe we can bring her back into the fold. Maybe this could be a chance for reconciliation. Imagine the power of the core if Courtney was in a general position beside me. I would love nothing more than to ride into Ceres side by side with my best friend, who I have not spoken to in years.
Years.
Yes, our relationship, Ghost of Algae, our relationship.
I was just like, she's been in the city.
We have not spoken. I think when I took this position in the executive office of the Corps, she was most disappointed in me. I did not know why at the time, but this information you have granted me provides new light upon that.
Friends grow apart, but can you really believe she would do something like this? You've known her much longer than I have.
No, Courtney was always a dreamer. She had big ideas.
This is bigger than ideas, Vithers. Innocent Agatherans have suffered.
Yes, she spoke often about how the ends justified the means. And I assume that was just in relation to our Cosman activities, but it seems that she has gone further than that. Perhaps some of these crimes cannot be reconciled, but I am forever an optimist. I will believe. No. I will hope that what is here is an exaggeration. But it may be true, and if it is true, the justice of Algathera will be meted out upon her for her sins against the community. But if it is just serious lies and exaggerations, then together, and he puts his arm around your shoulder, together, Courtney and I will reunite and reignite like the two nodes of a magnet drawn together again, forming an impenetrable bond to bring our crushing might down upon the scum of Ceres. and vesselify them in the name of Algathera. Yeah.
Algathera. I give a
Full
half-hearted salute.
Algathera.
Yeah,
You got a bit carried away today.
he did. He did.
Better get out of here before your voice is completely gone.
That was wonderful. Like that was so good.
I really like the speech about taking over Sirius. That was a good.
Yeah.
He was really into it.
He really got into it. Yep.
Gonna just say goodbye and head out.
Okay.
Come.
All right.
out.
You head out to the foyer with Brendan and Algie patiently waiting for you.
Come. Let us prepare for our journey. We have a lot ahead of us.
And a whole new boat to learn how to sail.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, if we won that, why would we take a normal Algatheran vessel when we've got this new whiz-bang contraption?
To be fair, we do not know how to sail a boat.
We'll pay. I mean, we'll just get some Navy corpsmen.
Deckhand.
I need some repairs though. It is missing a mast.
That is true, and I suppose haste is of the essence.
Haste.
Well,
Oh,
we'll see what we can do.
the Algatheran shipwrights, though, they know how to work magic.
Literally and metaphorically.
Alright. Next thing I want to do is go back to that fisherman and pay him or something. Try to make him.
Oh, we can let Viver's office handle it.
No.
Okay. You head back to the dock.
Also himself.
You head back to the dock, and that fisherman is waiting for you actually, and gets up, and says, "Oi, you!" And he's running at you with his, or like walking hastily at you with his finger waggling. He's like, I heard what happened out there. You sunk my boat."
Yes, congratulations, sir. Your boat was used to catch spies of Sirius. And it served well.
Yeah, well, it was a fine vessel, it was.
How much do you think a boat's worth? I'm gonna offer him 37 gold. I'll say it was a fine vessel, and it served us well in its brief life, but you know what's better than a boat? Like
A handful of gold. So just tell me, are you trying to offer him fair value, like undervalue, or overvalue?
Try to start low.
Yeah, okay, level him. And he's sort of
Would also
respectable offer.
would also
I'm not
lowball
sure how
him?
much a boat is worth, really.
like, well, yeah, fair enough.
I never bought
Well,
a
we
boat.
have 550 gold.
I lived off the fat of the land, off the Algatheran, pay as a corpsman.
He catches the pouch of gold and like chips it in his hand and starts counting. He's like, 37 gold, 30, 37 gold pieces. I've lost it. I lost the accent. Fucking
Gone.
That's right. A good fair value for a wonderful, though perhaps old, slightly aged vessel.
You causman can't. You just waltz around thinking you're the saviors of this city, but it's the hard
Fair,
workers.
I am the savior of this city.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Dragon Knight. What would you eat if I wasn't out there fishing every day? And now how am I going to fish? I got no boat. But,
have to buy a new boat.
That's what the gold's for.
I feel like this is
How goods and services work.
30, it's sort of like 37
am I
gold.
an asshole? I don't know.
37 gold. You know what? Let's shake on it then. And he offers out his hand.
Yeah, shake that hand.
Shake it. And he sort of, again, grabs you by the shoulder. Everyone's grabbing you by the shoulder today. So between you and me, that boat has some serious issues, mate. So 37 gold, that'll get me sorted. Thank you very much. But don't tell anyone. And he's like,
It's not
sort of-
insurance for it. I'm just paying you.
Yeah.
Sort of pushes you away. He's like, can't believe it. Ripped off by the cause, and he's like doing this for the public spectacle.
yes, of
Ripped
course.
off by the causeman again. Unbelievable. Feed my family on taters and carrots for weeks now. Barely any fish in that fucking ocean anyway.
Well, don't worry about the fish. You can buy food now. I'm giving you money.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
I love the idea of Olsen just like when he first like puffs up, just turning around and be like, am I being an asshole? Was that a bad offer? I'm a druid. I don't do boats. How
much does a boat cost? $10?
Yeah, literally.
So the other thing, while this is going on, Bretwin and Algie, you notice that there's like amongst the crowd that's gathered around your boat, there's actually some people in engineering garb crawling all over it.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, word has gotten around. You didn't even need to tell the chief engineer, Beazle Spout.
Very boot.
Very good.
So it's a well-oiled machine. Things has happened.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on at the dock.
Do we see Berry Boot? Or does engineers?
Yeah. Barry Boot's there, sort of coordinating people from the shore, or from the dock itself.
We need some repairs.
Yeah.
Guys wanna... I'm busy getting besmirched out here. What's it called? Defamed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slandered.
Yeah, Bretwin, let's go see if they can get the ship operating.
Yes, I think that would probably be a good idea. I mean, it's not every day you see a mast turn into a dragon. That's a new one.
Why are we on the north side? We should be on the south side with the boats.
Oh
my god. Is there a dock actually?
There's some boats.
Look, I don't know my way around the city.
Did I put? Oh, there are boats. There's a very ghetto dock.
Yeah.
That'll do.
All right. What are you doing at the dock?
Oh, saying Berry Boot.
What are
You got here quick.
Yes. It is not every day a foreign war vessel arrives in the Algatheran port. A most interesting acquisition you have acquired for yourselves.
Well, it all goes in a day's work of a high-level corpsman, dealing with Ceresians, stealing boats, rescuing maidens, all of that good stuff.
Net boat 0. That's what we're about.
He chuckles. Well, while you may have established a net boat of 0, the net technology that you have brought into the city is well in the positives. I mean, look at that propulsion system. I've never seen anything like it.
Yes, very impressive. Hopefully it's not too singed.
Well, yes, there is a rather lot of fire damage. It must have been quite a heated conflict out there. But I'm glad you all survived, and I'm particularly glad that this boat survived. This is a fine vessel. I have got some estimates from my engineers, and I believe that give us a solid month, and we will have it all repaired and detailed. We may not discover all of its secrets, but we will do our hardest. We'll try our hardest. Already, we've got a full team working on the cannon itself, second on the propulsion system, and a third on its navigational capabilities. That seems surprisingly sophisticated. I did not know the Ceresians were this far ahead of us in naval technology, but what you have brought us today will close that gap rapidly. Thank you very much.
I don't suppose you could have it done by tomorrow. Just asking.
Just the mast. You can take all the bells and whistles to research.
I mean, we probably need the bells and whistles, but
some of the bells and whistles.
Well, Bretwin, you're not a father by chance, are you?
I'm not a.
A father.
No. Not well. You know, when you've lived as long as I have, things happen.
We'll classify that down as maybe. Do you know how long it takes to birth a child, Bretwin?
Oh, dwarven children take, quite a long time, but this is a boat, not a child.
And what would happen if you added more dwarven mothers to that situation, Bretwin? How fast would that child be born?
It's like, well, are we running them in series or parallel? That's the question.
I apologize. I do not know enough about dwarven anatomy to see if this analogy translates. But trust me, a gnomish child would not be born any faster.
Yes, I know. I thought that would, well, never hurts to ask. I did think it would probably be. I mean, Algie, tell him what you did to the mast.
It's... Well, let's just say
He turned it into a dragon, and it ripped itself out of the boat and went and beat the other boat to death.
That is a most novel take on naval warfare.
Yep. You're like, it's just somewhat euphemism.
Very creative.
I'm being, in fact, literal, and I'm being very literal in this sense.
That's gnomish ingenuity for you there, person. Clever little fella, that one. That's why he's a dragon knight. What we lack for in size, we make up for in our brain size.
Yep. Please, Brentwood, keep our classified information of our combat.
I mean, we weren't that far out at sea. People would have seen. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to take the boat that we were meant to take all along. How droll. Well, as long as she's well provisioned, I suppose we will survive.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is the vessel that was sort of set up for you, waiting in port, and it's ready to roll out. They're sort of a bit forgotten amongst the chaos, but it is a fine boat. It's not your boat, but it's a fine boat.
There's a crew.
There's a crew. They're ready to go. Would you like to set sail?
I think that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
We're raced against time now. Like, we didn't realize how dire straits were out there. Haste is of the essence.
All right. In that case, I'll see everybody. Not next Thursday. I'm at a wedding next Thursday. The first.
We're down to 4 weeks.
I actually was sort of sketching it out. I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I think it's going to take a little longer to wrap things up.
4 sessions to clean this up.
It's not happening. It's not happening.